I feel like buying wine is actually more challenging than ever. There's so many different producers to choose from. There's so many different varieties that are becoming popular. It's almost like you've got this overwhelming sense of decision fatigue. When you go into a bottle shop, there's hundreds of different options. And if you jump online, it's even worse. You've got thousands from different stores. It's just a lot. Basically what I thought I'd do, much like Brendan did a little while ago, is go through the 5 styles of wine that I am drinking right now. Now, some of these are kind of classic styles that I'm kind of getting interested in, and some of these are a little bit more emerging and becoming a little bit more popular. In no further ado, in no order, without any kind of preconceived ideas, these are the 5 wines that I'm buying right now. Now, one of the things I'm actually drinking a lot of at the moment is traditional method sparkling, but there is one caveat, is that I'm not buying champagne. Look, we all know that Champagne is one of the greatest wine regions in the world with some of the greatest wines the world has ever seen. But every single year we keep seeing the prices go up and up and up and up and up. Like all of the wines that, used to be, in that $70 to $80 range, like Paul Roger or Louis Roederer, they're cracking the $100 mark. And I'm like, even for special occasions, it's starting to get really challenging to purchase those. I'm looking for where the value is for traditional method sparkling wine. And I feel like the value is actually based where you are. So if I'm in Australia, I'm drinking Australian traditional method sparkling wine. Same goes for if you're in New Zealand or in France, but not in Champagne. But basically what I'm trying to say is don't just go for the tippy top of the tree. Sometimes I think, those local producers are actually doing some really, really exciting stuff. And in Australia, we're lucky we've got a swathe of them. So we've got, from the Adelaide Hills, we've got producers like Deviation Road who are benchmarks for the style. I think traditional method sparkling wine is one of the most delicious styles of wine in the world, but we don't have to just be blindsided by big champagne houses. Like, let's get local, let's get, small. Like, that's where I think the excitement, and most importantly, that's where the value is. Now, another style of wine that I'm buying this year is the definition of a classic, but unfortunately, the popularity of this style is really in decline. And I think that has to do with, maybe a lack of education in the wine industry. That also has to do with the flavors people generally think are, not exactly what they are. And that's sherry. I think sherry is some of the great wines of the world, whether they're the dry styles from, Fino and Manzanilla, or you can get down to Oloroso and Amontillado. But these styles of wine are really complex and sometimes really challenging, particularly to those drier styles of sherry. If you're not kind of inducted into the world of wine, these can be really upfront and abrasive. The higher levels of alcohol mixed with those intense, nutty, oxidative characters from both biologically and oxidatively aged styles of sherry are a lot. If you are able to kind of get your palate aligned and you can actually get comfortable with these flavors, you are getting some of the most intense and delicious styles of, wine in general. They just happen to be fortified. Yes, they're higher in alcohol, so you can't drink like a full glass of them. But you don't need to drink a full glass. I think this is a perfect little fun food pairing wine. Sherry's really struggling right now as far as, young people not necessarily drinking them, but give it a crack. Like, some of the styles of wine are super delicious. I reckon just go to the bottle shop, get a little half bottle of something oxidative and delicious, and you'll be having a great time. Get some Manzanilla in a little 375ml. You'll be laughing. Now, a third style of wine that I'm drinking a lot of at the moment is actually basically a way to get myself out of talking down a particular grape variety and just trying to challenge myself and go, maybe this particular thing and, its cousin is not that bad of a variety. And I think amongst me and my friends, the most commonly shat on grape is Sauvignon Blanc. And probably for good reason. I think New Zealand has really tainted a generation of wine drinkers for actually enjoying Sauvignon Blanc, but there's a pretty amazing style of wine that they've been making for a long period of time, made from the grape variety, along with a few others, that I think is totally underrated in a modern context, and that is a Bordeaux white blend. So a Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon blend, or a Semillon Sauvignon Blanc blend. In Australia, we go SSB for Sem Savs, and then we got SBS for Sauvignon Blanc Semillon. Funnily enough, some of the most delicious wines I've had in the last 6 months have been those particular blends. Two of them are bona fide classics in Australia. One of them is Mountain Mary's Triolet and the other one is Sorenberg's Sauv Blanc Semillon blend. I think they're utterly outrageous and delicious beverages. All I'm saying is get off your high horse a little bit and give Sauv Blanc another go. It's actually a pretty amazing wine. Now, the fourth style of wine that I've been drinking a lot of at the moment is a red style called Valpolicella. I think over the last probably 15 years or so, this whole light red movement, chilled red movement has really taken off. And I think for good reason. We've got a warming planet. Here in Australia, like, we've been known for big, bold, rich styles of red wine. But as we've seen over the last, probably decade here, is that that trend is really in decline, and we're actually seeing the rise of those kind of lighter bodied reds.
George, red wine in the cooler?
This one's different, sir. It's Colony Chilled Light Burgundy.
Chilled. I've been selling wine for 30 years. Delicious.
And one that I think we're underrating is Valpolicella. It's an amazing blend from Veneto, Italy. It's got a stack of different grape varieties in there. It's got Corvina, Rondinella, Molinara, all in these different blends. My hot recommendation is to stay away from the kind of Ripasso and Amarone end of Valpolicella and just stay on the lighter end in the Classico area. And there's some really lovely, juicy, fresh, low tannin, and chillable examples of Valpolicella out there that are absolutely delicious. And two of my favorites are La Dama Valpolicella and then also Marion's Borgo Valpolicella. Just fragrant, red fruited, delicious, good acid, some of my favorite styles of wine to drink. I'd be happy to drink Valpolicella Classico pretty much once a week. Now, the fifth and final wine style that I've become really, really excited by is a grape variety that I think, sneaks under the radar from these two particular countries that it is grown in, and then also outside of it, particularly here. And this grape variety is Menthea, or Heng as they call it in Portugal. It is an amazing red grape variety that has great acidity, bright fresh fruits, good structural tannin, and can make some really amazing styles of wine. It can handle carbonic maceration really well, so you can make that really juicy and approachable take, and it really loves the heat as well. So it's a good grape variety for the future in those kind of warmer climate areas. There's a bunch that I've really been enjoying from out of Galicia, so Bierzo is absolutely a fantastic place to grow it. And then of course Portugal, where it is called Hain, is an amazing place. It's actually grown in the Dow, and it makes these, again, very, very fruited styles, but a bit more structure and a bit more intensity. In Australia, it's actually made its way to our shores. Become really quite at home in a few places across South Australia. McLaren Vale, Eden Valley, and the Adelaide Hills are growing some amazing examples of it too. Producers like Morak are working with it. Then we've also got Ministry of Clouds are doing some fantastic work with it. Craft, CRFT in the Adelaide Hills are probably the kind of flag bearers for the variety in the country, and their takes on it are absolutely just delicious. So I would be absolutely seeking out some more Menthea from Galicia in Spain, and then also from the Dow in Portugal. If you want those kind of nice medium-bodied spicy red wines, I think Menthea or Hain definitely really sneaks under the radar and provides a lot of great value. So those are the 5 styles of wine I'm drinking at the moment. I'm really digging those. What are you guys drinking? I reckon you guys would enjoy those 5 that I've just kind of mentioned there as well. And I hope you guys are enjoying the 5 that I've mentioned too. But yeah, let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.